Morning, morning, everybody. Michelle is in the building. I hope everybody's doing fantastic, magnificent, and wonderful because I am. No, I'm just having fun, being silly. Thankfully, I can be right because there's so much going on everywhere, all over. So thankfully, I can have a sense of humor about myself at least. I'm not laughing at other people, but I do have a sense of humor for myself because that's who I'm responsible for is myself and my actions and my behaviors. And I just wanted to go back to something I heard someone was asking about how do you handle a certain situation that most people are experiencing these days. And it's called anxiety. And back in the day, it used to be called panic attacks. And I think I said something on one of my videos, the many videos I have out there, and I want to make it very clear again. Everything is free will, so that means you don't have to listen to not a goddamn thing I'm saying. And there are billions and billions of people talking, and so you're going to have to be responsible for discerning and finding out how it relates to reality for you in what people are saying. A lot of people are talking, billions, and sometimes the messenger is receives more harmful pushback than the actual criminals or the actual narcissistic or the actual sociopath psychopaths. A lot of people want to go after the messengers all the time and bother them and threaten them and kill them. Prophets have been killed when they deliver messages to people. And so, like I said, always remember that you have free will. So if you don't agree with someone, I don't understand why you can't just walk away from it. Why you need to sit there and go back and forth. Now, it's okay to engage if you. Sometimes I like to engage just so I can make sure I have some clarity and then just to shoot my opinion out there. Who doesn't want to put their opinions out? Even though your opinions mean not a goddamn thing. But who doesn't want to take that chance take that opportunity to throw their little 2 cents into a conversation? Not me. I don't do that, do I? Anyway, I'm having a good time. But last night I was tossing and turning and just kind of a little bit unsettled. And I told you with highly sensory people, we're picking up on energy. Okay, we pick up on energy. And so that means I'm constantly having to make sure that energy or those free flowing thoughts are mine or not. And in most cases they're not. But it still affects me regardless. You understand me? It still affects me regardless. Even though I know these thoughts that are flowing through the air, a lot of people are having anxiety about relationships, about money, about their career, about life, and that's perfectly a natural situation when with what we have. Okay, our situations ought to cause some type of anxiety and panic, right? Because it's involving the survival of certain people. Is involving the survival of the planet, and it just involves a whole lot of situations that we are, unfortunately, whether we contributed or not, we're still being affected by it. Okay, so my thoughts are going all over the place, and because everybody else's thoughts are going all over the place, and so we're kind of like we're going to constantly interfere with each other. And then, like I said, on top of that, we got that encasement of negativity, not only affecting us constantly. It's like being hit in the head with a hammer sometimes, if you're not being conscious. So what I do is, like, back in the day, like when I had the panic attacks, I remember I went into the emergency room. I thought I couldn't breathe. I remember the doctor said to me, he was very calm, and he said, well, I think he said to me, he said, well, it appears you're having panic attacks. And then I said to him, yeah, I can't breathe. And then he was so calm and said, well, so he started asking me a series of questions. And then eventually I said, eventually I'm like, okay, so why can't I breathe? What's obstructing my breathing? So, in other words, I had to talk myself down, okay, and calm myself down by a series of talking to myself. Or, and if I had a partner around, I would teach the partner how to ask me certain questions and calm me down, because I can get worked up too, and I get these, what I call them, ticks, but I don't know what people call them, where I'm just like, I get revved up too, because it is a disturbance going on in the planet. There's disturbance with the atmosphere. Our breathing is being affected with the CO2 and the methane, the overcrowdedness, and everything else flowing in the air. We're being affected by all that stuff. Okay, and so a lot of people want to be unconscious and say, "Oh no, I'm good." Come on now, come on now. So I just want people that are having situations with anxiety, social anxiety, rumination, is it is expected. Yet at the same time, it has to be managed. Okay, it has to be managed. And I, like I said, I do it through a series of talking through stuff. I'll say to myself, okay, Michelle, what is going on right now, the causing you to be da 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 da. So I'm, like I said, I make sure whatever is happening is belongs to me, or if I'm just picking up other energy, and that's usually what it is, because I'm fantastic, magnificent, and marvelous. I really am, and I'm not, you know. But at the same time, like I said, I'm still affected by the encasement of negativity, just like everybody else. And so I said, for the rest of our lives, we're going to have to stay conscious and ask appropriate questions of ourselves. If what I used to like to do is I like to go outside and stand near a tree or sit near a tree and just kind of, talk either I talk silently, just within myself, or sometimes I'll talk out like, okay, what's going on right now? And but before I do that, I make sure I'm in a full body meditation. I make sure, okay, what are my toes? I go through that whole thing. I'm telling you. All right, am I grounded in reality? Okay, what do I hear? What do I see? I have to go through those things constantly. And I sense for the rest of my life. Okay, because like I said, I pick up on stuff. And like I said, we're highly sensory people. We don't have specifics per se. We just know that there's a strong energy of something going on. And if I, take the time, that's why I can't wait to get on the road and travel and see what's going on, see what I pick up. Because so many people tell you very various aspects of where they live. Like, in Mississippi, they have a certain reality. In Georgia, they have a certain reality. In Texas, there's a certain reality. Vegas, Arizona, Nebraska, New York, everybody has their own variation of their reality. All right. And you will always have people either love it or they hate it. And some are extreme about it. A lot of people extremely hate Florida, and then a lot of people extremely love Florida. That's where you need to come in there and just balance that all out and calm it down to something that you can manage and say, okay, how am I breathing? Why am I breathing so fast? Why am I breathing? That's going to be I know for me, that's going to be for the rest of my life. And I'm not going to kid myself and think that I'm always under control, that I always have things, that I'm always well, I'm not going to say, but like I just always have it together. I have to keep it together. I don't always have it together. I keep it together. That means I'm actively involved all the time in the management of my thoughts, which produces my behaviors and actions. So a lot of people say, "Well, God, man, you seem so strong. You seem like you could handle so much." Well, because I work on myself. I work on myself. I work on myself to calm myself down. I can get myself worked up now. and get overwhelmed, especially when it comes to finances. For some reason, finances will do something to me because I'm single and I know I got to take care of myself. I know I have to provide for myself. I know I don't want to be a burden to people, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So it's about the reality of your situation. And you have to ask questions like, okay, what is going on right now that's causing all of this disturbance in my thoughts? And you got to ask these questions. And sometimes you may just be picking up on the neighbor's thoughts. You may be, because I know, because everybody's doing all of this thinking in the energy, and we're crashing into each other, and it's overwhelming if you're not conscious of it. And even if you are conscious, you have to, okay, let's sit down. But like I said, last night I could not sleep. That happens to me too. Sometimes I just can't sleep, and so I just kind of deal with it, and just let it pass. And then once whatever was going on, once it passed, I notice that I'm knocked out, and then I'll wake up, and I feel refreshed. No matter what, I feel refreshed. I get up, and I do what I got to do. So it's a matter of just capturing these thoughts that are just free flowing all over the place, and make sure those thoughts are yours. They're not your partner's, your husband, your wife, your children, your neighbors, your neighborhood, whatever, because that's what's happening with our thoughts. And then on top of that, the force of that negativity, that encasement of negativity, barreling down as well, and just creeping into everyone's psyche, consciousness, whatever you want to call it, just creeping in and interfering and invading you. It's like an invasion. It is. It's an actual invasion. So you just have to, all right, what is my reality right now? And you have to bring in all those senses, and you have to bring in, and it has to be logical. Okay, am I being delusional right now? Okay, am I being rational, logical, reasonable? Sometimes it may be that certain needs are not met as well, and a lot of it is interpersonal. A lot of it is interpersonal. I mean, a lot of people are desiring intimacy with someone, closeness, love, sexual relationships. That a lot of people are desiring that companionship. So a lot of things just start creeping in, and so you just have to stop it. But sometimes what I do when it gets, because it was just overwhelming. So I just kind of let stuff kind of free flow, and then just allow it to just kind of calm down on its own. Because you don't really want to try to stop it, because you can't sometimes, and then that makes it worse. I just let everything just kind of free flow. As long as I know I'm safe, everything's going good, everything's fine in my environment, so I just kind of have to let those things just kind of go. Let them thoughts just kind of swing. They call them swinging waves, swinging waves of energy. It's affecting all of us. It is affecting all of us. So no one is immune from it. Okay. A lot of people want to say that they are, a lot of people do handle things a little bit differently, but a lot of people are in delusion too. And a lot of people are in denial. Okay. And then one day, they for a while, they seem to be on top of the world, dancing around, giving out all this advice and just everything. They're on top of the world. And then they make one mistake, and then boom, they have a life-threatening situation. Right? Okay. So again, it can happen to the best of us. No matter how much knowledge you have, no matter how much experience you have, you can be struck down just like everybody else. So that's why you need to get yourself grounded in reality and stop trying to, bestow yourself as some leader, okay, as some guru or whatever, that you're above all this stuff. No, you're not. Okay, and the sooner you get out of that delusion, when you do fall, because everybody falls sometimes, and trip and fall and fail and make mistakes, it'll be a softer land. It'll be a fall, but you can manage to get yourself up from it, and you don't you don't spiral out of control. Okay, so yes, I go through it anxiety too, but I just don't call it anything anymore. I just call it an experience, and I get myself grounded and think about, okay, maybe I had too much too much stimulus of something, and that could happen as well. So it's always a constant battle. It's a constant. But enjoy yourself nonetheless. Don't get yourself so overwhelmed. If you need to cry, go ahead and fucking cry. Some people, need to cry. Let it out. If that's what you want to do. Laughter. Find something that makes you laugh. Get it out. Laughter is, I prefer laughter, but sometimes I might need to cry too. Especially if I've hurt myself. A couple of times I've hurt myself here. And it's like, oh my God, the pain, and then it goes on, it resolves itself, and then I move on to something else. So it's a constant battle. You're not going to get rid of anything, really, honestly. What you can do is neutralize it. That's the best that you ought to hope for, because to say you're getting rid of something, that's where we become so extreme. Let it just neutralize itself, and then it'll dissolve and it's gone. Like I said, like I used to get myself all worked up, and like I said, and they call them tics, and I'm, they associate it with autism and all that, but every one of us can have that experience if we're honest, but most people are not honest. So what can you do? Where you are unable to calm yourself down, you get worked up, and a lot of people use drugs to do that, alcohol to calm themselves down. Because I remember my dad used to have My dad used to have a shake, and he would say, "Well, alcohol will calm him down." You understand what I mean? We'll go to a substance to calm ourselves down instead of just allowing it to just naturally bring itself down. But anyway, to each his own. All right, everybody has free will. Everybody's responsible for how they manage themselves. Now, like I said, I just give out information. If you don't like my information, I'm so thankful that you took the time to listen. If you don't like it, swipe and move on. And I'm so thankful that that's your option. Okay, free will. So again, I'm feeling fantastic. Things are going fantastic, and I have, like I said, last night something was going on last night where, like I said, I was tossing and turning myself, and then so that means I was just picking up something because I had no reason to be tossing and turning. That's my point. Everything's fantastic, so that means I was picking up on somebody else's energy, nearby or far away. It all depends. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and send peace and love right now. Get washing clothes, and doing some cleaning around the house. Not necessarily cleaning, but just washing clothes. Like I said, I'm in the final stages of everything. So, that's and that's why I'm really, really happy right now. So peace and love, everybody, and trust me, I'll be back.